Hello everyone, welcome to yet another session on soft skills and interpersonal communication with me, Waheeda, Assistant Professor at the Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Dundigal, Hyderabad. In today's session, we are going to study about speaking skills. In earlier sessions, we talked about LSRW skills, but in this session, we are going to talk about speaking skills in reference to body language, the emblems, regulators, and the non-verbal cues that we use in speaking skills. So let's get started. As you all know, it is speaking is an act of making vocal sounds, and also it means to converse or expressing one's thoughts and feelings in spoken language, opinions, language, and also their knowledge. Eh, As we all know, it is the skill is the ability to do something well. That's what we have been learning. That's why we call it as skill. Speaking skills are the skills that enable us, that give us the ability to communicate effectively, maintaining eye contact, being relaxed, and also listening and speaking simultaneously to communicate ourselves with the people. As I have always been telling my students, like words have incredible power. They can make people's hearts soar or they can make people's hearts soar. This is told by Dr. Mari Grothe, a psychologist in USA. And actually, speech is power. It can persuade, it can convert, it can compel people to do something what you want them to do. Ralph Waldo Emerson, a poet from USA again, says this. Speaking skills are the skills that which are very important for career enhancement, but certainly not limited to one's professional aspirations. Speaking skills can enhance one's personal life, thereby bringing about the well-rounded growth we should all seek for. I mean, it is everything. What we speak tells us what kind of person we are, what kind of upbringing that we have, the kind of speaking that we do. Effective and active listeners are very good speakers. What are the essentials when we come to the speaking part of the LSRW skills? What are the essentials that we must keep in mind, engrave in mind, so that we speak effectively? We should think in our mind that that our audience are not our enemies. They are not our enemies. We should always think that we should always be searching for some smiling face, those are willing to listen to us and gain confidence from them. And here and there we will be seeing some faces who are actually attracted to what we are saying. So if we look at them and we gain confidence. And other thing is that you determine what you want the audience to think, feel, or do. If you want your audience to think in one direction, you have to persuade them. You must gain the skill of pursuing them to do or think in a way that you want them to feel and do. Write your speech word for word. The funda of this is that whatever you want to say in front of your audience, you have to practice in such a way that whatever you are going to say in front of the audience, right from the beginning that you are wishing them, you have to jot down. You have to write down each word that you are going to speak in front of your audience, and you have to read it several times before going on to the days. And as I told you before, how to practice. These are the three P's of presentation that we always, or rather 4 P's of presentation that we always talk about to our students. Like when we are preparing the content, we need to go through it in detail, and then edit and re-edit the content wherever it is required. Then prepare a content that is after edited. You need to assign the PPTs or any video that you want to play at that particular point. You have to just mark it. and then practice. After preparing the content, you have to read it several times, and by practicing in front of the mirror, you have to become perfect. And then comes the presentation. During the day or a day before a presentation, you need to go to the place where you are going to present, or at least half an hour before, and see how much is the space that is provided for you to go to and fro through the ASL. And then also the kind of software and hardware that is provided, whether your system or your laptop or whatever you are taking, tablet, is it compatible with the software or hardware that is provided over there or not. These things that you have to see in that. Bring life to your words with colorful images and examples. The duty or the responsibility of the speaker is that you must create a type of wild imagination in the minds of your audience, that you should bring colorful images to them, and by giving them much examples, so that they think wild, they think out of the box, or they think according to what you want them to think. Make a point and tell a story. People like to listen to stories, so that's why even if you are giving a self introduction, try to portray or try to convey in such a manner that as if though you are telling your own life story, so people will get connected to you, your audience will get connected to you. Six emotions that will connect with any audience, that is happiness. If you crack a joke, for example, at the beginning of your presentation, you will connect them through happiness. Or sometimes a sad story or sad anecdote or a sad incident, people get empathetic towards you, they empathize with the situation and they try to connect you in that manner. Anger sometimes could be you are being very strict, or even you surprise them by asking a question, or any disgust or fear of, if you do not do this, you might end up doing, you are falling to such kind of a problem or things like that. So mm, these are some of the emotions that that you can connect with your audience. Don't tell us, take us is another point. Like as if though you are narrating the story, and you are not making them a part of that. But what we have to do, we have to take them to the place where the incident happens, so that people will be able to connect with you. That is one of the essentials of speaking skills. Just remember that the audience is not the enemy. The reason why many people avoid public speaking is because they have a fear of it, which is partially, sorry, fear of an unknown and possibly hostile audience. They might think that maybe if I make a mistake, the audience will remember and they might mock at me, they might harass me, or they might build a negative opinion about me or something like that. As I told you, you have to write your speech and edit and re-edit it while we are doing. Bring a life to your words with colorful images. This is where style becomes apparent. Choose those words which evoke the audience's own imagination, so that they start to experience what you are saying rather than just hearing you. Try to make them connect with your experience. Make a point, tell a story. You should have a point to your speech rather than explain that point to your audience. You need to have them discover it through experiencing it as a part of the story you tell. Yeah, as you gradually proceed towards telling them the story, you have to make your audience realize that they have reached to a point where they need to grasp the attention, or grasp the the pulp of that situation. Okay. And choose words which not only create an image, but which evoke at least one of the emotions, which people empathize with you, as I told you before. You are willing to accept your message that you want to convey in your speech. Rather than describing the incident like a reporter, take us as an eyewitness to the event by acting it out with movements, gestures, vocal inflections that put us right there in the middle of the action. So if you are enacting them or making them feel that their presence is there in the incident, then they would rather relate it to themselves. It does not matter how effective you are in communicating with others. Sometimes you may face communication barriers as well. Because of the speaking barriers, because of the rough and unclear data or information about the topic, we might come across speaking barriers. We do not have much information, or we have our information is not crisp, not concrete, not really to the point. It is not crisp or concrete, or if it is not clear, or if we are having rough data, then we might come across a barrier in communication. Inconsistent communication, missing the flow and going too fast or too slow. In the barriers of communication, I discussed this point in detail when I said that some people have this physiological barrier. Some people have the ability to communicate or understand some hundreds of words per minute, and some even only in 30s or 40 number words. So it becomes difficult for them to grasp the content. If the content is coming in a very fast pace, and the people whose attention ability is just 30 to 40 words, they have difficulty in understanding the content. So the flow should be in accordance with the understanding or the level of understanding of our audience. So we must have a clear understanding as to what is their level, whether they are laymen, or what is their qualification, or what kind of upbringing and what kind of educational background that those people are coming from. Unclear pronunciation, again, due to the MTI, the influence of mother tongue in their communication, sometimes the communication could be having some kind of speaking barriers because of the culture or the kind of MTI that the person is coming from, or the different people have different types of mother tongue influence. Like the Japanese cannot pronounce the letter T, the Arabs cannot pronounce the word P, and the Assamese, for example, cannot pronounce the letters sh, starting with sh, and Malayali, L sound they cannot pronounce. Call, they say call. So this, because of this influence, maybe because of the abrupt sentences or words, or maybe wrong pronunciation, people may not understand the content. Again, the vocabulary and also the language could be one of the, again, barriers. Miscommunication or not understanding the listener could be one of the reasons, as if the what is it that the listener wants to listen. If there is any misunderstanding, miscommunication being created due to this, using negative words. Meaning of some words may differ from region to region, and also culture to culture. In one culture it might mean something, and in another culture the same word can be pronounced as something other, in other words. So like for example, the words like gift in English refers to something given voluntary to something without payment. But in German, gift means poison. So if you say German, I have a gift for you, that person might never come back to see you, isn't it? Knave in English means lacking experience, wisdom, or sophistication, often with a negative connotation. However, in French, knave simply means innocent and doesn't necessarily have the same negative overtone. So if I say you are knave, and to an Englishman, and a Frenchman might understand it in another fashion. Bald refers to a lack of hair on the head and can be seen as a negative trait for some people. In Russian, balded means to enjoy or to have a great time. So having enjoyment without hair is different from having a great time, for that matter. So some thing like miserable in English means very unhappy, while uncomfortable in French, miserable refers to someone who is in need. So certain words may differ from culture to culture, language to language, but if we understand in the real context, like in the concept of word formation, when the semantic change happens, this could happen, I mean, prove as detrimental to the understanding of your audience. So we need to be very clear as to what kind of audience, what is their background. Again, I tell you every time that audience analysis is very, very important when it comes to speaking skills. Okay. Although you communicate simply by being in the world, developing good verbal and body language skills involves learning and consciously using your skills to improve. This effectiveness refers to the level of quality with which a task or process is carried out that leads to higher overall performance of an individual. The ability to inform, persuade, and direct is the way that people are successful in their communication or speaking skills. That's why business managers, educators, military leaders, lawyers, and politicians, among others, seek to develop their speaking skills to such a level that they are transformed into master communicators by the practice that they are doing on a daily basis. Speaking clearly and confidently can gain the attention of an audience, providing the golden opportunity for the speaker to make the messages known. Ability to stand out from the rest. When one thinks of speaking skills, one tends to think of it as a common skill. Think again. The ability to stand before others and speaking effectively is not an ordinary ability. Many people are deathly afraid of public speaking. Others have little ability to form thoughts into sentences and then deliver those words in a believable way. Sometimes a person who takes the initiatives to speak will always have an edge over the other people, because that person shows leadership qualities, those critical thinking, ability to grasp the opportunity. And also, if that person has critical thinking abilities, how to take the problem and find solutions to that problem, will always have an edge over the other, and that ability will make you stand out of the rest in the crowd, as a face in the crowd. And a person who has great ability to speak, which will showcase leadership skills, team building attitude, and also to take leadership skills. These speaking skills are very much important in career enhancement or career growth, but certainly not limited to one's professional aspirations. It can also improve your professional as well as your personal life, because if your personal life is at calm, your professional life will also become successful, and it will have its own gallop as days pass by. It will increase and you will develop your career, have development. Because of this, you need to have verbal as well as non-verbal communication. In short, it is called NVC, verbal communication. And non-verbal communication. These skills are influenced by the culture we have been socialized in. People coming from the not so developed places, cities, uh, the villages and all, do not have this ability to speak in front of their audience in a very effective manner. But once they get into this habit, they can make all the difference. They are strongly affected by a person's values, beliefs, and attitudes. Every person communicates verbally and non-verbally with all their effectiveness. Verbal communication depends on the tone of the speaker, clarity of speech, volume, speed, body language, uh, and the quality of words used in the conversation. This showcases as to what kind of upbringing or what kind of culture that person is coming from. The tone defines his educational or his mental status, his background. And the volume, because how a person speaks is very important than what he speaks. So he or she speak. The speed again tells how mentally the person is very strong. Body language, whether it is compatible with the emotions that he or she is displaying, or the facial expressions, and whether the facial expressions and body language are they compatible with the emotions or the kind of verbal communication that he or she does. And nonverbal communication includes gestures, facial expressions, and body positions collectively as body language, which is known as well as unspoken understandings and presuppositions, and cultural and environmental conditions that may affect any encounter between the people. Okay, body language means the conscious and unconscious movements and postures by which attitudes and feelings are communicated. Some are gestures, postures, facial expressions. The gestures are again divided into emblems, illustrators, regulators, and adapters. We'll talk about them in detail. The emblems or the gestures that serve the same function as a word are called as emblems. For example, the signs that mean okay, uh, okay, come here, and the hand movement used while hitchhiking. We be aware that whilst some emblems are internationally recognized, other may need to be interpreted in their cultural context. Like, for example, when in olden days, when somebody showed this thumb, it used to be said that I'm not going to do anything. I'm showing this thumb. But right in the media, the social media culture, when we are using some emoticons or emblems, this means that okay, let it go, or it is good, let it pass by. So this have cultural context. We must know how they are used in different cultures and different upbringings. Then we have the illustrators. Those gestures with accompany words to illustrate a verbal message are known as illustrators. For example, the common circular hand movements which accompanies the phrase over and over again, and nodding of the head in particular direction when you are saying over there, over here, or what, where, things like that. When we are making head movements, they try to say that. When I'm addressing myself, when I say it's me who did that, or it's me who has attained that first position, or it's all that I could do for you, or one is looking at the list of something, and they are pinpointing their fingers like this, it says that it is the illustrators. And regulators used to give feedback when conversing are called regulators. Like examples include head nods like yeah, yeah, no, when we do that. Short sounds such as and expressions of interest or boredom, or movement of the eyes, or movement of the head like this, or no, from left to right, right to left, or maybe you are turning your eyes this way, that way. These are called as regulators. Then we have the adapters, which are non-verbal behaviors which satisfies some physical need. Adapters include such actions as scratching or adjusting uncomfortable glasses, or like this, or maybe scratching your head, or scratching your hand, something like that, or some adjusting the glasses, or some adjust their jewelry, or for men they adjust their belts and things like that. That is their physiological need, such as biting fingernails when they are nervous, or putting knuckle banging, or some play with their buttons and things like that. Normally subconscious adapters are more likely to be restrained in public places than in the private world of individuals, where they are less likely to be noticed. Adaptive behaviors often accompany feelings of anxiety or hostility. Some people even they put, as the picture suggests, they put their head when they are uncomfortable with the kind of sounds that they are hearing around them, or if any unto-do incident has happened, so biting of nails and things like that. Postures, very important aspect of personality, whether they are putting their shoulders straight or slouching posture, or bending right side, left side matters a lot. Posture can reflect emotions, attitudes, and what kind of intentions that the person, if you are bending towards somebody and trying to listen to people what they are talking, that curiosity or the kind of attitude one person has to listen to over conversation is a kind of a person you all know is not so welcomed in the society. Research has identified a wide range of postural signals and their meanings, such as closed posture, like when they are putting their hands closed, could be seated in closed position, might have his or her arms folded, legs crossed like this, or be positioned at a slight angle from the person with whom they are interacting. If they are bending down to talk to the person on the right hand side or the left hand, wherever the person is sitting, it might show some kind of interest towards that person. And if you are not willing to talk to, maybe you bend down a little back and then try to talk to them. An open body posture signifies that you are open to welcome them and your readiness towards them. Sometimes they do not want to interact, so the closed body posture is somewhere where people are not comfortable with the other people. Open posture is an you might expect to see someone directly facing you with hands apart on the arms of the chair, like you are putting the hands on your. An open posture can be used to communicate openness or interest in someone and readiness to listen to them, whereas the close might imply discomfort or disinterest towards the other person. You can just look at the picture and identify where the person is very interested to talk to when they are facing the other person and really a bit bending towards that person and trying to listen with interest. Then we have the facial expressions, which are one form of non-verbal communication. A smile can indicate approval or happiness. A frown can signal disapproval or unhappiness. When we smile, only four muscles of our face stretch, and when we are frowning at somebody, our 400 muscles of our face have to be stretched. So the best way is to stretch a little and then spread happiness. Our facial expressions may reveal our true feelings about a particular situation as well. While you say that you are feeling fine, the look on your face may tell it people otherwise. If you try to smile, but there are some hidden troubles that you are unsuccessful in hiding. This could happen with many of the people, and they might be unsuccessful in showcasing or trying to hide their expressions. So in this, when we are presenting or communicating our thoughts and feelings, how we are generating our talks or with visual prompts also make a lot of difference. How we use the visual aids, video, audio, PowerPoint presentation, overhead projectors, and methods which speak, accentuate, visualize. The other thing that we must do is the accentuate the positive, making more noticeable. What kind of a speaker are you? To be more effective, you have to identify your style. Get in touch with your strengths and weaknesses as a speaker and zero in on what you do best. Do you have a great sense of humor? Or are you good at storytelling? After a thorough analysis, pick your kind and focus on delivering your talk with your own style. And in this way, you can shine like a star. Don't alter yourself because you think one style is better than the other, or try to be somebody you are not. Many of people try to fake their accent. In the beginning, they try to start the conversation on a fake note or fake accent, and gradually, as they get involved with their presentation or their speech or talk, they gradually come back to their own pronunciation or own accent. So this acts as a negative impression on their personality. So first we must know what kind of a person, what kind of a presenter are we. Are we good at making the people laugh? Are we good at making them feel happy and relaxed? So try to use those anecdotes or those type of skills that are good for that particular type of presentation. So if you are good at humor, try to crack a few jokes which will make the people laugh, and when they are laughing, they are relaxed, and when they are relaxed, they are more receptive to learning. So this might create a type of an environment where your audience are feeling free, and they are happy to listen to you, they are free to listen to you, because you have created a type of a background for them to grasp the information with happiness, something you learn by heart, that's what is called, if you're willing, you're happy to grasp the idea, you are doing it by heart, and whatever you learn by heart, you retain it for a long period of time. Why do you remember the nursery rhymes still? Because you learned them by heart, because you have, grasp them with your own will. So pick your kind of presentation in whichever way that you are good at. If you are good at doing humorous talk, you do that. You try to adopt a style that is best for you. Are you good at questioning people? Interrogative type of personality, are you that? If you are good at that, you try to ask questions and make your audience in control of yourself. Get comfortable with the environment, it is also very important. Go check the event, as I told you before, wherever you are going to present, you need to go and check what kind of the platform has been given to you, whether you will have the freedom to walk to the fro and walk to the to and fro on the easel, or you will be confined on a tiny spot like the podium or something like that. The small details are actually not small when we think it is small, but they prove when you are speaking, think thoroughly about them, they'll make all the difference in your speaking engagement. Visualize your audience. Fear of public speaking is related to the fear of criticism, and the fear of criticism is related to the fear of people's opinion of non-acceptance. As I told you, that people will remember that we made a mistake, or they might not like us, they might abandon us from their group, or peer pressure would be there. All these things haunt us when we are all thinking about presenting ourselves. Research was done, and people were asked which is the most difficult thing that you, or what is the phobia that you go through. So many people in their questionnaire wrote that they are afraid of coming and presenting, coming and talking in front of the audience. Graver can it be than that of death, or seeing a crocodile in the same room, or seeing a snake being there in the same room? Is it equally as fearful as presentations? I don't think so. But if we are trained in such a way, if we make our mind, it will become the best thing that you can do to engage your audience in a better manner. You won't beat this fear easily, but try this. Imagine that you are talking to a group of people who are ignorant, like you do not, they do not have any knowledge about what is it that you are talking. You are giving them first hand information. Visualize the scene. I'm pretty sure you will be smiling while climbing the stage if you do that. Think that you are the master of your presentation that day, and you know more than what all the audience together know about the topic. If you have this kind of confidence in your mind, I'm sure you are going to do it better. When you're finally up on that podium, relax. 3 long and deep breaths, smile and say hi to the crowd. If you are still nervous after saying hi, read your first 2 lines with all the confidence you can muster right from your script. After your first 2 lines, move on to your third, the fourth, and so on, and maintain eye contact. Maintaining eye contact with your audience will solve 50% of your problem. Each one of the audience must feel as if though you are looking at him or her throughout your presentation. You can do it likewise by spreading your, or putting your gaze onto your audience and looking into their eyes from right to left and left to right. You have to just keep on swinging your view throughout your audience. That way you will be able to make eye contact with them and visualize with them. And when you go onto the podium, do not say in front of them that I don't know why the people have chosen me, I do not know anything. There, if you say utter these words, instead of uh, I mean, taking their sympathy, they might question your credibility as a presenter. So never utter such words of inexperience or incapability in front of your audience. You have to show that you are capable, and they have come and they are going to take back home something valuable, and their stay or their time that they are spending with you is not going to be wasted. Make them believe that. Okay. Then we will come to oral presentation. Is the process of presenting a topic to an audience. Oral presentations are one of the most common assignments in college courses and
like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.